Hello, namaste. Yeah, for me, the topic today is one of my favorite topics, the soulmate relationships. This topic is very dear to me because for me, my whole spiritual path has been um, connected with this topic, the topic of soulmates. And I would say that my spiritual path really started when I consciously met the first soulmate in my life, which was my husband. I will then talk more about it. But first, I would really like to start with a quote of Yogananda, because Yogananda talked a lot about friendship. And I want to explain first that what he calls friendship, I call soulmateship, because the word friendship is sometimes very vague. So we have many friends, but it's like, you know, with some friends we are close, with some friends we're not so close. So if I use the word soulmate, I'm actually talking about the deep soul friendship. And soulmate is not only wife and husband, can not only be wife and husband, but the soulmate can be any friend, can be your child, your parent, your sibling. So just that you are aware of what I mean when I talk about soulmate. And Yogananda said, friendship, or I would say soulmateship, is the highest form of love. As such, it is meant to evolve into the divine manifestation of God's eternal love. Friendship is the highest relationship because in friendship there is no compulsion. It is born of the free choice of the heart. It is God calling souls back to unity in Him. If you can be a friend to all, unconditionally, that is divine love. So within this quote, there's actually everything already said that we can explore now. But maybe you want to know first more about my story with soulmates. Well, I was born in Austria in the middle of the mountains with wonderful, loving parents. And definitely my mother is also one of my soulmates. Anyway, the parents are soulmates, but we not always experience it like that. But definitely I had the beautiful blessing to have wonderful, loving parents. And yeah, I always, as a child, I always looked into the stars and was thinking, how is it possible? How is eternity possible? Endless space. I couldn't understand it, and I always wanted to know. So I was always driven by this longing to know. And well, music was as important to me actually as spirituality. The singing was always very special to me because with the singing, my mind always calmed down. When I'm singing, I always feel connected to something higher, to high energy, to something that makes me feel authentic, to really be myself. And so anyway, it didn't work out. I wanted first to apply for a scholarship for a musical university, which didn't play out. So I started my studies at university for sociology. And this is where I met my husband, JC. And it was the first very special encounter of a soulmate that was very clear that it was different than any other encounter in my life. Because when we met, and when the first time our eyes met, there was some kind of like an electricity, like a spark, something you recognize. And from his side, it was even clearer because he had dreamt of me before he met me. He had, you know, my face was in his dreams for a longer while, for many years before he met me. So it was clear, oh, okay, this is the person now. And for me, it was just like, oh, okay, what's going on? Something is going on. So through him, actually, I realized more and more what it means to have a soulmate. With him, I went to India. I went through all my spiritual, how do you call it, ordeals, I think, like all the ups and downs of the spiritual path and the seeking and the block washing and the beauty of it and also the challenges of it. And I'm pretty sure that without him, I wouldn't have gone through that. I think I would have been like the flight animals, you know, like the horses or the deer that are always running away when something comes. So I'm more this kind of type. And through him, he was my anchor. Through him, I was able to go through a lot of stuff and stay on track and stay on the path. and be able to really focus on what's most important to me. And yeah, I would like to tell a little story that's actually in the literature, in the German literature, very, very well known. It's a poem, a ballad from an Austrian, not a German poet. He's called Friedrich Schiller. And I think most of the people in their time in school had to learn it by heart and recite it in front of the others. So it's a very well-known piece of literature. And it's actually about soulmates. So the story goes like that. There is this one guy, Damon, and he has this crazy idea in his head. He wants to rid his country from a tyrant. The king of the country is a very cruel man. He's a tyrant. And Damon is good in his heart, just with a stupid idea that he can rid his country by going there with a dagger and taking his body. Anyway, it never comes to that because Damon is caught before he can get to the king. And the king says, wow, okay, you wanted to take my life, so now you will pay on the cross for it. So I will take your life. And Damon says, well, you know, I'm not asking for mercy. I just ask you for one thing. My sister is going to marry. I have to give her away in marriage, and I will be back in 3 days. And in the meantime, my friend will stay here. And if I'm not back in time, you can put him on the cross. And the king is smiling like in his a little cruel way and is like, yeah, sure, why not? Of course, he's thinking that he will never come back. And so Damon goes and he goes to the wedding ceremony of his sister, gives away his sister in marriage, and then he's on his way back to where the king lives. And all of a sudden it starts raining so heavily. And on the way he has to cross the river, but the river is so big now through the rain that all the bridges are gone. And there's no boat and he doesn't know how to cross the river, but he's desperate to go and save his friend's life who has stayed there for him. So he's just jumping into the river, he's swimming, he's crossing the river, he's getting to the other shore. And then he continues his path, he's running, he's doing his best because the time is flying and it's nearly time for him to reach the site. So then all of a sudden, a band of robbers try to cut his way, and he's desperate. He says, let me go, and they don't want to let him go. And through his desperation, he's so strong that he just defeats them all, and he runs. He keeps running. And then the next day, the sun is very, very strong. It's hot. He has nothing to drink. He's completely exhausted. He doesn't really know how to keep on walking. And he prays to God. He says, God, you've let me cross this river and defeat the robbers. And now please don't let me fail in the last minute. So all of a sudden he hears this beautiful spring and he goes there, he refreshes himself with the water. And then after a short while, he gets to the place where the cross is standing, and he hears people already yell, oh, they're putting him on the cross, you know, already he's, you know, put to death. And somebody tells him, hey, you were too late, go, you can leave now, save your own life because your friend it's too late. And he runs and he gets to the cross, and his friend was just lifted up there, and he says, stop it, it's me, you have to take me because he's just standing in for me, it's me, stop it. So he's just there in the last second, and everybody is just amazed. They cannot believe that he really came back for his friend to be put to death. And this, everybody starts crying because they are so touched by this love. And then also the king hears about it, and the king comes and he says, well, he says, you made it happen. You have conquered my heart, the king says. So faith and loyalty are no empty vanity. So take me into your friendship's bond. I would, if allowed my intention, become the third in your union. And it's actually, if you read it, the original in German, it's expressed in a very beautiful way, how this soulmateship, how this huge love between the friends was able to break the wall around the king's heart, around the tyrant's heart. And he all of a sudden recognizes, touched so much by this love, that he recognizes his own cruelty, and he wants to be a part of that. He wants to have that. He wants to have that kind of friendship. So this is actually the power of soulmates. I think it's not only changing us, changing ourselves, but it's changing everything around us as well. So what is a soulmate? Let's start like that. Well, I would say there's actually two different kinds of soulmates. There's people that we meet, we see them and we kind of recognize them. There is something about them. We don't know what it is. Sometimes we even think we already know the person, but we don't. Something we recognize. It's a long relationship we already had, maybe for many lifetimes. And our souls they know each other. Our souls are very much drawn to each other. This kind of recognizing is, of course, very beautiful. But there's also the possibility to develop a soulmate friendship. There's the possibility that with people in my life that are close to me, that I really develop this kind of a relationship. So it actually doesn't matter from which way you come, from the friendship part to the soulmateship, or from the soulmateship to the friendship that develops. Is always important just that we are aware what really is the huge benefit and the huge blessing of it. So what is a soulmate? Let's have a little definition about it. Well, Buddha said something beautiful. A friend is someone who knows everything about your life and still loves you. And he also said, walking with a friend in the dark is better than walking alone in the light. This actually I found yesterday evening, and it was so beautiful. And a soulmate is really somebody that knows everything about you. It's a person that you can share everything with. It means you're kind of naked in front of each other, not naked with the clothes. Naked means like you don't have to hide anything in front of the other one. You don't have to be a certain person for the other one. You don't have to stay in a certain role to be able to have harmony with the other one. No, you can be your most authentic self. You know you have your faults. Everyone has their little things they go through, and sometimes we are tired, sometimes we are angry. We have to overcome certain things in order to become those peaceful, loving people that we all want to be. But a soulmate is okay with it. A soulmate understands it. And a soulmate always knows how to talk to you, what to tell you. And for me, one of the most important things about a soulmate is that you don't have to question your love ever. It means I don't have to think every time again, oh, is this person my friend? Or will he understand me? Is he going to be angry with me? You know, you don't have to always question this kind of relationship. It's just, it's there, and it's forever. This kind of deep connection. And of course, there's the possibility that we are connected with people in many different ways. Sometimes people are attracted to each other just from the physical being. This is a different kind of relationship. Sometimes we are just together with people very closely because we have to work together in a team, or it's a family member. So we are spending a lot of time with each other. But a soulmate is really somebody who, no matter where you are, no matter if you are together physically or not, if you talk to each other a lot, you know this person is there. And it's somebody that we really trust unconditionally. So a soulmate is a beautiful way for me to discover the divine in others. When I have this huge love, and I will tell it now as my example with my husband, I had this huge love for him from the beginning. It was very easy, actually. There was nothing we had to work through. It was just clear. And this kind of love made it so easy to see his divinity. So I didn't see any faults. I didn't see anything that I wanted to change. I just felt this beautiful connection, and how much it helped me to realize my own blocks. So, for example, one tiny example to make it practical. Since my childhood, I always had a topic with anger. So I would sometimes become angry, not at people, but at something. For example, I couldn't find something. I was like, where is it? Where did I put it? And, this kind of anger. And it happened, every now and then that I became really angry because something I didn't find or something I didn't understand. So my husband said, well, we were not married then, but he told me, it's okay. Don't worry, you can be angry. It's just energy. And I will just take this energy and transform it into positive energy. And then I have a lot of energy. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about your anger. Wow. What he did is he just loved me exactly the way I was. He didn't tell me you have to change. He didn't tell me your anger is bad for you or for me. He said, it's okay. It's okay the way you are. Oh, and then what happened with me? I wanted to change because I felt I don't want to be like that. I don't like this energy of anger. So because I was not pushed, because I was accepted and loved the way I am, it was easier for me to change by myself. It was a deep longing to solve this topic. And and it was with many different things. It was always the acceptance, always it's okay, you can be the way you are, I love you the way you are. And through this love, through this unconditional love, it was always possible to change and to also recognize myself much better. Well, as you probably all know, the energy we focus on, or whatever we focus on, it gets stronger, right? So if we focus on something beautiful, the beautiful becomes stronger. If we focus on something negative, the negative becomes stronger. So with a soulmate, what happens is that we focus on the beauty, we focus on the essence of the person, on the divinity, on the beauty. And this is what becomes stronger. And this person also is a mirror for our own divinity, because this person sees also the divine in you. The person loves you on a deep soul level. It's not just, the person doesn't just like you because you're funny, because you're good looking, because you share the same interests, the same hobbies. The person really loves you. That's it, loves you, not because. So through the soulmate, we start to experience unconditional love. And this unconditional love is something so special, because I think it's something we all want. I think in the beginning, we all want to be loved unconditionally. So, of course, through the divine, through our connection with the divine, we experience unconditional love. But also, we have the wish to experience it from a person. And this unconditional love, it starts to grow more and more and more. So the soulmates, they start to grow together, and it becomes deeper, this relationship. It becomes stronger, and step by step, you realize how your unconditional love is growing. And for me, for a long time, it was very easy to love my husband in this beautiful way. But it was like we were in a kind of bubble together. It was the two of us, and it was like our own world. But then at one point, of course, the bubble starts to dissolve, and what you practice, what you experience with your soulmate, you can then start to practice and experience with everyone. What does it mean? It means that a soulmate helps us to discover our divine qualities. With a soulmate, we can practice unconditional love, patience, the inner peace, the joy, really not to forget the joy. It's such a joy to be with a soulmate. And step by step, we can really experience it with other people too, which means we can start to love other people as much as we love our soulmate. So in my experience, it's really like a training partner. We we train all of this with a person that it's with whom it's easy for us. If we have a soulmate relationship, it's much easier for us to be selfless, to be happy for the other one, to we automatically don't feel jealousy or anything like that with a soulmate, because we want the other one to be happy. It's very, very beautiful. So after a while, we start to feel the same towards the people around us. And we realize, oh my God, there is more than one soulmate. Soulmates can come into my life at any time, any point in my life. And I can actually make everybody my soulmate. I think the masters, the great souls like Jesus, Buddha, Baba, they are soulmates to everyone. But there's one thing that we have to understand. It's a difference if there is an ascended master or if there's a person in the body in my life in the same dimension. And that's actually what I'm talking about here now. It's the soulmates that we can talk to in the body. Somebody who shares the same challenges, the same illusions of time and space. Somebody who is also on this path to realize themselves. And I know that, let's see first. And actually there's another very beautiful point about soulmates. They make it impossible for us to stay in an illusion for a longer time. Because if you're like grumpy and you're in any kind of illusion, the soulmate will say at one point, hey, come on, this is affecting me. Come on, get out of this illusion. A soulmate can be very honest with us. And it's not going to hurt us because we know our soulmate loves us. So the soulmate will always push us further. And further, I mean, I'm of course talking about the spiritual path, because it's actually, I think the real soulmate-ship is only possible between people who are on any kind of spiritual path, who want to explore their own divinity, who want to find the truth, who are looking for that consciously. And well, anyway, in the conscious soulmateship is like that. I think that there's also soulmates in, like, everybody can experience it, but maybe not in a conscious way. So a soulmate kind of pushes us out of our frame, because from my experience, at least, I know that we have this picture of ourselves, our identity, our profession, our society, this certain frame that we operate within. And in order to find our higher self, in order to find the divinity inside of us, to be connected to the highest energies, we have to leave this frame. It's not possible to stay in this kind of secure, limited frame and at the same time reach the highest. So we have to, at one point, leave this frame. But it's scary because this is what we know, and outside of this frame is the unknown. So a soulmate is such a beautiful help in this procedure, because when we know we have soulmate, when we know we have a person who loves us unconditionally, we are more likely to jump. We are more likely to let go of the known and grasp the unknown. We are more likely to break with the old patterns, to let go of old belief systems, if there's somebody that is always there for us. So this is a huge help on the spiritual path. You are loved unconditionally. Somebody is always there for you. And it doesn't have to be that you meet the person every day or that this person talks to you every day. Just to know about this person, to know you have this connection with someone, is an unbelievable, beautiful help, and it's kind of a safety net. So, when there's the artists and they're doing some wild things on the rope or on the, in the circus, when they are swinging, and then there's a safety net. So when they fall, there is a net that can catch them. And this is also the kind of love that a soulmateship can bring you this kind of, wow, there's somebody who is also in this kind of illusion, in this manifested world, and we have this kind of deep connection. Through each other, we are connected to the essence, to the divinity inside of us. So this is actually something that can accelerate our spiritual path. It can really push us. And I also want to talk about two other soulmates that I met, so that you don't only think about husband and wife in this sense of soulmateship, but when my husband and I went to study in Spain for 2 semesters, we wanted to do like a language exchange with a student there, with a Spanish student there. And I remember very well that we said, okay, we will meet this student. Her name was Maida, a beautiful, beautiful woman. We will meet her somewhere, and then we will start to, to see how we can exchange. Like, we talk German, she talks Spanish, and we will, help each other to learn the language. So we went to this place where we're about to meet, and my husband and I, we look at her, we see her, she comes down from the stairs, and we both loved her immediately. The funny thing was, we didn't even want to do this language exchange. We kind of felt like, okay, we have to do it, but yeah. But when we saw her, we were like, yeah, oh my God, this is amazing. And immediately we had such a deep love, both of us, to her. And from her side, it was the same with us. So some recognition was there. It was such a deep friendship right from the beginning, the first second we saw each other. So what is that? How is it possible? It's possible when you meet somebody again that you have been friends with for past lifetimes. And it's actually also something Yogananda said. It's very important to deepen your friendships with your friends from past lives. If you meet somebody like that, it's important to deepen this friendship. So many beautiful things can come out of that. And another soulmate I met one time when I was in India, I went into a restaurant. It was together with a group of people and with my husband. And this man is sitting on the table, and our eyes meet, and something happened. I didn't see what it was. He saw what it was. It was a brother of mine from a different lifetime. And also the same thing happened. Immediately recognizing each other's vibration, each other's souls. And immediately this love, this unconditional love without knowing anything from each other. And yeah, this is an amazing experience. I would like to just take a few seconds to that you close your eyes and you just think in your life of people like that you might have met already, or friends that are around you where you might have this kind of feeling. Of course, every one of you probably knows about what I'm talking here, and for sure you have all had your own beautiful experiences, but it's always beautiful to bring it into consciousness, to then also even go deeper with these experiences. So there's another quote of Yogananda, which is also very beautiful in this context of helping each other on the spiritual path. It says, true friendship consists in being mutually useful, in offering one's friend good cheer in distress, sympathy in sorrow, advice in trouble, and material help in times of real need. Friendship consists in rejoicing in the good fortune of one's friend and in sympathizing with them in adversity. One who has given his friendship to another gladly forgoes selfish pleasures or self-interest for the sake of his friend's happiness, without consciousness of loss or sacrifice, and without counting the cost. The greater the mutual service, the deeper the friendship. Hence, to attract friends, one must possess the qualities of a real friend. So this is also very beautiful because we start to feel the unconditional love in a way that we really want the other one to be happy. And for the happiness of the other one, it's not that we are sacrificing ourselves. It's not that we are losing ourselves. No, we are learning selfless love. And also we are learning to go beyond certain limits. For example, money is one big limit between friends. There's a saying in German, it's like, with money, the friendship ends. So it means then as soon as money is involved, the friendship starts to be a little like insecure, you know, like friends have already like partied because of money issues, or anything else can be a topic that makes friends go their own separate ways. But with the soulmate, with the clear and conscious decision to be soulmates, this is not possible. You would give all your money gladly if the soulmate needs it, if it makes him happy or her happy. And the thing is, because it's not going over your own boundaries in a way that you sacrifice yourself in a negative way, it's in this beauty of giving completely with the open heart that you receive everything. It comes back so many times more. So you learn about the flow of giving. You learn about this open-hearted giving with a soulmate and how everything comes back multiplied. And this is very important because to give is something beautiful, but many times we give without an open heart because we think we have to, or it's the right thing to do. And so it's kind of it creates an imbalance inside of us. But if we give with open heart, only through the love, oh, it multiplies, it becomes so much more. And especially the love we are recognizing through the love we give and through meeting different soulmates, different friends, that love always multiplies. If I love one person and I love another person, my love grows. It's not becoming less. And this is something we have to really experience consciously. And it's possible with a soulmate. So, yeah, this is actually very, very beautiful. And also the fact that when you have a soulmate, you start to realize that time and space do not matter. So it doesn't matter where in the world your soulmate is, through the connection, you always feel him or her present. The soulmate is always there with you because in the other reality, there is no time and space. So with this connection from the divine self to the divine self, it doesn't matter where you are. You know this person, you feel the person's love, you feel their essence, and it's beautiful. It helps us so much to overcome certain belief systems and to overcome also this fear of losing someone. With a soulmate, you realize you cannot lose love. You can never lose a true friend, a loved one. And this is important. Even then, when it comes to the matter of death, you realize, yes, it's an illusion, and you can experience it, that the connection is always there. And a soulmate can really do that for us. But what does it take? It takes our open heart. It takes our readiness to experience that. Also our readiness to let the other one be close to us. Many of us, especially when we have a wounded inner child and with many experiences where we were hurt by others, we find it difficult to let somebody really close to us. So of course, when we meet somebody that we recognize as a soulmate, it's probably easier to let that person close. But also it's possible that through our fears, we kind of stop it at some point. So this is what's good to know, is you can only gain something positive and beautiful when you let a soulmate be very close to you, to get to know each other, that in depth, to know our darkest fears, our blocks, our experiences, and to really let the other one also see you, really see you. You can be authentic with the other one, and this makes the connection deeper and deeper. So of course it's beautiful if you meet soulmates in a way that you recognize each other from past lives, that you have some kind of immediate connection. But also you can develop to become soulmates with anyone. You can, if you have a beautiful friend, you can start to create a soulmate ship like that. You can start to consciously work on it. And at one point, you will feel the same connection that you might have with somebody who was immediately recognized as a soulmate. And this is actually also where the unity starts, the unity experience. For us, for me especially, it was always like this big longing in my heart to experience unity. And all my life, I've seen the same things happen again and again. I've seen friends very close and through some small thing break apart. I've seen groups of people, teams working together, groups working together, and like having a beautiful energy with each other. But then as soon as you're really spending time with somebody, really things can come up, especially on the spiritual path, when you explore all the different layers of illusion inside of you, then it starts getting a little more difficult, because all of a sudden we recognize, oh, the other person doesn't only have the very nice qualities, there's also something coming up, some block maybe. And then, of course, it's difficult to stay in the beautiful relationship with a person. But if the people are open to become soulmates, if they are open to this kind of possibility, then the true unity can unfold. And it takes our will to work on it. It takes the inner work. And this is the same inner work that we do on the spiritual path. So it's the same path. It's not different. It's I had this beautiful experience. We have a heart community, our association. It's a heart community basically, and we are working together on the spiritual path. We are learning together, meditating, having the satsangs, everything, and most of all, we are experiencing with each other the heart healing and the heart connection. So I've experienced a lot of groups that had difficulties to be in unity with each other, and last year we went on this beautiful power journey to India with a group of more than 25 people. And we had a meeting before, and we talked about the illusions that can come up. Because if you go to a power spot, if you are in high energy, then of course, everything inside of us is stirred up. So everything that is hidden, that we put under the rag, that we wanted to hide, is slowly coming to the surface. And so we talked about what can happen. We talked about all the experiences we might encounter, and just to be aware of it, just to be attentive. And then it turned out that the whole group was so unified during this whole journey that it was just magical. It was magical. It was something I never experienced in this intensity with so many people. And there was like the highest kind of like a, how do you call it? The amazing culmination, and it was in Shirdi, when we were in Shirdi, and we were on the bhajan stage. We were invited to sing bhajans, and so this whole group, we were sitting there on the stage, and I usually close my eyes when I sing, and there were just a few people in the audience, not many people actually. And before we started singing, we said, okay, we are singing for unity now. Unity is our sankalpam, our intention. This is what we sing for. So we started singing, and I closed my eyes, and we were so synchronized. We started singing, it was like one voice. And everyone had their hearts open, and they were all on the same track. They all felt like, yes, we want unity. And when I opened my eyes, the whole place was full of people. I think there were many hundreds of people, maybe even 1,000 people. All of a sudden, I don't know where everybody came from. And the moment I opened my eyes, I saw all these people, I felt the unity. The first time in my life, because until that point, it had only been a beautiful concept. It had been something that I can nourish in my heart. I can feel the unity with others, even though they might not want it or feel it. But in this moment, it was like, yeah, it's there. We are truly one. We are really, really one. And I know this was only possible because all of us were ready for it. We were all working since many years on our relationships, on our connection, and to really see the other one as a divine being. And so it was an amazing experience that showed me you can really, in a body, at any point in your life, experience all the beautiful concepts and all the beautiful qualities, the divine qualities that you can also, of course, realize in meditation. So to see the other one truly as they are, the real self, the real divine self of them, is a huge joy. It's such a bliss because every one of us is unique. We all have a very unique vibration. There is no relationship is the same. With every person, you have a unique relationship. You have a unique experience. Everyone is a masterpiece of the divine. So this is so beautiful. And I realized actually that this feeling of unity, also through the soulmate experience, made it possible for me to let go of my personality. It means that for most of my life, as Christine, I always tried to find my path. This Christine needed to do something, to accomplish something, to reach something, to find something. And there was one point in my life where it fell off, and from the I went to the we. And there was only the we there. And all of a sudden there was so much energy, so much more energy, because I didn't need my energy to hold on to this certain picture of mine, or to this idea of mine. And I started to serve the community, this association, this power spot that we witness that is building up here. I started to realize I'm just serving. Whatever needs to be done, I'm doing. I'm just a servant. And through becoming a servant, I actually started to realize my own fragrance. I started to feel who I really am. And I couldn't put it in words. We are always trying, at least here in the West, we're trying a lot to find out who we are. What is my dharma? What is my specialization? Who am I? And I realized, okay, I cannot really put a name to it. It's just something like a blossom, a flower that starts to bloom inside of me because I let go of this role. I started to serve without the thought of what Christine has to do. And it brought me such joy and happiness, so much energy. It was so beautiful. And I know this was only possible through the soulmates in my life. The whole journey, my whole spiritual journey, has been connected to soulmates. And my most beautiful spiritual experiences, also in meditation, were somehow connected to my soulmates. What is the connection between, or the difference between the meditation, finding your divinity or connecting to the divine in meditation, or in a soulmate? Well, it doesn't matter how you see it. It's always about connecting to the highest consciousness, connecting to love, connecting to everything actually we are longing for. And I think we all have to find it in everything we meet, in every situation and person, and of course in our silence, in our own silence. But there is a beautiful one last quote. This unity that we feel at one point with one person, it's really becoming a melting. We stop identifying so much with our separate being and seeing the other one as a separate being, but through the connection that becomes deeper and deeper, we really merge. We are becoming one. And this can happen then with everyone and everything. And it's not very long ago that I had this beautiful experience with a butterfly. I saw this butterfly and I was like, oh my God, it's beautiful. And I felt such a love for this animal, for this being. And I said, I would love to cuddle you. I would love to, to embrace you. So if you feel the same, come to my hand. Or if you want that too. And I realized the difference to all the time before it was always like, I want you. There was something like, oh, I want to touch you. I want, like, this, you like something, you see something beautiful, oh, you want to jump there. But it's not really the respect for the other one. It's not really the pure love. It's something you're taking it. And it was this soft being, this very gentle, fragile being. And it was just the love there. And I went closer and closer. And I had this all the time, this huge respect for this other being. And all of a sudden, when I touched it, it came to my hand, and it was sitting on my hand for quite a while. And it really touched my soul, because in this moment I realized also this big difference in whatever we meet, the nature, the animals, the human beings. If we have this just beautiful love that embraces everything without wanting anything from the other one, then you can experience the true unity and the merging of everything. And then the joy is there, and the peace is there, and the love is there. Everything we are always longing for. And so the last the last quote that I want to read to you, because it's just very, very fitting to end with this quote. It's when true friendship exists between two souls, and they seek spiritual love and God's love together, when their only wish is to be of service to each other, their friendship produces the flame of spirit. Through perfected divine friendship, mutually seeking spiritual perfection, they find the one great friend. The one great friend. Yes. So I am actually so glad. I know that many of you are there or will listen to that, and I know we are all connected in this beautiful way, because we all come from the same source. And so I greet you heartfully and send you huge love from Austria, and thanks so much.